Good evening. I'm Zenobia Dallas, the chair of the City of Saginaw Planning Commission. This is a regular meeting of the City Planning Commission. Public comments are permitted during the designated time on the agenda. This allows the public to speak to the Planning Commission about issues of general concern in the community. Once you are recognized, give your name and address to the staff member for the record. Speakers shall address their remarks to the commission as a whole. Remarks should not be addressed to individual commission members, city staff, or the audience. Speakers may ask general or specific questions, and those questions will be referred to city staff for appropriate follow-up. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes and may only speak once. Speakers should limit their remarks to business within the jurisdiction of the commission. The public hearing is to address the commission with regard to the subject of the relevant hearing and not to speak on other topics. When the petition, special land use, or site plan approval request in which you are interested is called, please be prepared to speak. Once you are recognized, give your name and address to the staff member for the record. The applicant whose application is the subject of the public hearing or their designated representative shall be the main speaker and will be allowed 10 minutes for their presentation. After the appellant's presentation, others may comment. Again, those speakers shall address their remarks to the commission as a whole and not to individual commission members, city staff, or the audience. Each additional speaker commenting on the subject of the public hearing will be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers may only speak once on that public hearing. This meeting is videotaped, so it's important that only one person speak at a time and the audience observe respect for the speaker. An affirmative vote of the majority of the members present is necessary to grant a petition, special land use, or site plan approval. Recommendations on all petitions, special land uses, or site plans made by the Planning Commission are then forwarded to City Council for disposition. Are there any questions? Seeing none, Staff Zimmerman, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Zawerko. Here. Commissioner Dallas.
Present.
Commissioner Hanley. Commissioner Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Clark. Commissioner Milne.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Nash. Commissioner Osash.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. The first item on our agenda is the approval of minutes from June 28th, 2020. Motion.
So move more.
Second. Support.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from June 28th, 2022. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you. The minutes have been approved. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented for July 26, 2022. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you. Our agenda has been approved. The next item on the agenda is our public comment. Again, this is the time for public comments, which allows the public to speak to the Planning Commission about issues of general concern in the community. This is not the public hearing component of the meeting. Once you are recognized, give your name and address to the staff member for the record. Speakers shall address their remarks to the commission as a whole. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes and may only speak once. Speakers should limit their remarks to business within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. Is there anyone here who would like to address the commission about issues of general concern in the community? Is there anyone here who wishes to address the commission about issues of general concern in the community? Is there anyone here who would like to address the commission about issues of general concern in the community? Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the new business. We now open the public hearing for the items listed on the agenda. Remember, the public hearing is to address the commission. Excuse me. It is not a public hearing. I apologize. It is not a public hearing. It is just simply a site plan approval. Okay? The first item on our agenda for new business is case J220145. site plan approval from Health Advantage Credit Union for a proposed 3-station drive-through banking facility at 1430 North Michigan Avenue. Is the applicant or representative present?
Yes.
Please come up to the podium, state your name and address. You have 10 minutes for your
Not a
presentation.
public hearing.
I'm sorry, you're right. You have 10 minutes.
Okay. My name is Chris Bohinski. I'm with TSSF Architects at 122 North Washington Avenue, Saginaw, Michigan. My client, Health Advantage Credit Union, would like to demo their existing building and put a new 3-lane drive-through facility for their banking operation. They've found that over time, their building is way too big, but they love the location, so they want to just reuse the location for something new. So that's really all I've got.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Any comments from you?
Pardon?
Give any comments?
I'm here for his support
Yes.
and answering questions.
Commissioners, is there a motion to approve case J22-0145, site plan approval from Health Advantage Credit Union for a proposed 3-station drive-through banking facility at 1430 North Michigan Avenue, contingent upon approval by the engineering department?
So move more.
Support?
Thank you. Is there any discussion or are there any questions?
Yes, I do. You know I did.
Do we need to go out of order? Regular
Not
business?
for
Because it's not a
discussion
public
of the
hearing.
commission.
Okay, for discussion of commission, if we have questions we want to discuss among ourselves, we may do so. If we want to ask a question of the appellant, we must go out of the regular order of business.
I make a motion, we go out of the regular order of business.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded to go out of the regular order of business. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
So I have a question.
Sure.
We're tearing it totally down
Yes.
and we're just doing drive-throughs.
Yes.
No new building.
No, it's no new building. It's just, like, the only part of the building that would be there is to support their operation, like an IT room almost for the ITM, lanes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was lost, so thank you so
No
much.
problem.
You have a question?
Yes, this question would be for the architect also and staff. I'm not sure who would be able to answer this best. In looking at the site plan as presented, in particular, it mentions the off-street parking standard for a financial institution, 6 vehicles per lane, including the vehicle at the window. And it says it meets that standard for 3 lanes. However, it is clear from the site plan, it envisions a possible 4th lane
Yes.
and says future item for, I'm assuming, a similar
Future
ATM.
Yep.
Okay? So are we asking for approval for 3 lanes tonight? If a 4th lane was wanted, would it need a separate site approval? Or are we essentially approving this plan and it would include approval for a 4th lane if approved as written? Does it meet the standard for that 4th lane?
So the approval for this evening would be for the three lanes. If they decide to add the 4th, typically the zoning ordinance provides for a 25% addition to a particular site plan without planning commission approval. It could just be an administrative approval.
Okay,
If
so.
they met those standards.
So our approval would clear it for that through the zoning board of appeals, would be where they would come and say, we'd like a 4th one.
No, it can be reviewed administratively,
Just-
just through city staff.
Okay, through, would that be engineering,
Well, planning and engineering.
planning and engineering?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I just intercede real quick?
It's a question for both of you.
The fourth lane, all they need to do is put a machine in. That's the only thing that they would end up doing, because the 4th lane is actually already built into the project.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're requesting approval for 3, but it looks like the same
Yeah,
standard is
it's-
being
it's-
met.
It's really a 4-lane operation. They're just not gonna put a machine in
Right.
until they see the need for it.
Okay.
I have a question, if you don't
Yes,
mind.
go ahead.
So this is an unmanned site,
Yes.
and these are just ATMs, or are they
They're
communicating with a remote branch?
They'll be communicating with a remote call center,
And nobody's in this building right
Nobody's
now?
in the building.
I mean, right now,
Currently, yes, there are, I think, maybe 3 staff there.
till they'll be relocated.
They'll be relocated probably to the Saginaw Township branch. I'm not sure exactly where, but that's probably what they'll fit on.
Only question I have.
You have another question of the appellant?
Yes. I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, this could not be creating any jobs, or is it?
It's retaining jobs, I mean,
Okay,
there'll
so
still be jobs.
it's not adding,
It's not adding or.
it's just gonna leave it like it is?
Yeah, essentially that,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Can I add on to that question?
Yes, ma'am.
But you just said that they're gonna be moving the staff out to the township, so there wouldn't be adding jobs at this location?
No, there would be no jobs added to this location. It's just, they'll be retaining those employees, and this is really an operations question, I shouldn't be answering, but I believe that they would be retaining their employees at their Saginaw Township location, probably as the call center employees for this.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Bob, how is this benefiting the city?
Well, I'm not sure the creation and retention of jobs is part of the site plan review. I'm not sure it's a criteria for site plan.
I apologize, Attorney Lusk. I believe the mayor was taking a point of personal privilege.
I just asked a question. I just asked,
Any other questions of the appellant?
no.
Is there a motion to return to the regular order of business?
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and seconded to return to the regular order of business. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you. We return to our regular order of business. We have a motion on the floor. Staff Zimmerman, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes, sorry.
When we're in regular business, I can still ask a question of staff, correct?
Yes, I'm sorry. Were there any more questions?
Just a short one. Notice that the approval is contingent upon approval by the engineering department. I haven't been here a long time. That's our normal flow. We're approving this, and engineering might say move the driveway 10 feet or make it 2 feet wider or
Yeah,
something.
typically, underground utilities issues, not
Things like
issues
that.
necessarily, but just even clarification. Yep.
Someone might find they buried a wire no one knows is there, and
Well, just an example, they're asking them to video the underground sanitary line, or sewer line, just to make sure that it's open and clear,
got it.
that kind of stuff.
Okay. Normal procedure to have engineering have like a final cut on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Staff Zimmerman, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Zwarko,
Yes.
Dallas,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Milne,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
and Osash.
Yes.
Motion was approved.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is old business, and we need a master plan status update.
Thank you.
So basically what has been provided to you to this point, we've done the 63-day required public, or the comment period for the jurisdictions that are required under the Enabling Act. At this point then, going forward until our next meeting, August 23rd, when we will be having a public hearing on the master plan, the draft master plan, we are taking comments. So we've provided you with the comments that have come in so far. And likewise, the report that was provided to you, some of which are very legitimate and need to probably be included in the master plan. So we're making some recommendations in terms of approving the language that you see on the back. You do not need to there's no requirement for you to do any action other than perhaps discuss any of these. What would likely happen then was that at that meeting, we would hold the public hearing, and if there's any other changes, you could potentially pass the draft master plan with these proposed changes, which would then go to the city council for final approval.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners?
One. This leads me to a question I had, not just about these recommendations, but when the master plan is in place, a project, say through engineering and public works, like a road repair, I see in the appendixes to the plan, there are, for instance, recommended things to do to improve sidewalk access or something. Do city departments always refer to, when they're preparing a project, the master plan, and see what recommendations might be in it? Is that normal city procedure?
Yeah, that's typically what this is for, yep, to drive the policies of the city in terms of.
It doesn't need a specific direction. Once the master plan is in place, it's part of overriding policy. Refer to the master plan and see if there's any parts to use.
Keeping in mind, we can't possibly predict the future, so
Right.
future events may change the course, and, I mean, there is a procedure to go through to modify the master plan, but,
In general, it's where they would refer to see if it
right.
has
And as you can
impacts.
see, in the master plan, there's action steps for us to work on parts of the city that we are proposing potential changes to.
Okay, no, that was just a general kind of thing. This just reminds me of it. So this is not an action document for us. We don't need to.
Correct. This is what staff is suggesting perhaps needs to be added to the draft master plan. So you could potentially pass the draft master plan with these changes.
Okay.
So again, with this new master plan, it is going to be reviewed how often? Is
That's
this a
up to you, but it should probably be looked at annually for sure. And likewise, within 5 years, we need to be looking at updating the whole master plan again.
So it really is almost like a work in progress?
Absolutely, absolutely, because you can't anticipate what's gonna happen in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the commission on the master plan? Seeing none, is there a motion for adjournment?
So move more.
Support?
All in favor for adjournment, please state your approval by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Meeting is adjourned at 6:18 PM. Thank you.